This is Representative Gabrielle Giffords, 8th District, Democrat, Arizona. She replaces Jim Colby. Congresswoman-elect Giffords, thank you for being with us. A lot of our callers this morning have been talking about illegal immigration. Was that the 800-pound gorilla in your campaign?
Well, Southern Arizona is right on the front lines of a national immigration crisis. I represent one of only 10 U.S.-Mexico border districts. We are disproportionately being burdened with the costs of folks coming into our country illegally, not just in our schools, but in our hospitals. Certainly our first responders and law enforcement feel it. So it is a big issue for my district, and it's one that's not on this first 100-hour agenda, but it absolutely is a priority for my district.
When did you first get interested in politics?
I am a third-generation Southern Arizonan, and I went off to school, was working for Price Waterhouse in New York City, and was asked to come home to run my family's tire and automotive business, which I did in 1996. It's tough being a small business owner, but I absolutely learned a tremendous amount. I first got involved with politics, frankly, because I was frustrated opening up my newspaper every single morning and seeing my great state of Arizona continuing to be at the bottom, whether it was per pupil funding or mental health funding or making sure that we could preserve our beautiful open spaces. And in life, you know, you can either complain about something or you can try to fix it. So I decided to run for political office. I served in the Arizona House and the Arizona Senate, and now I'm here in Congress, and I'm really excited.
Did you have any political heroes when you started getting interested in politics? Anyone you followed?
Well, certainly Mo Udall is a legend in Southern Arizona, and as you can imagine, my pride to step into those shoes to represent his old district.
Now, are you close at all with former Representative Jim Colby?
You know, Congressman Colby has been absolutely fantastic. In fact, I don't think any member of Congress could hope for a better transition from one party to another. He's been a real gentleman. His office has been terrific. We've hired some of his former staff. We're less partisan in Southern Arizona. Really, the people in my district just want to see someone who's going to roll up their sleeves and get the job done. People are sick and tired of the bickering, the partisanship, and I think that was reflected in this last election.
Representative-elect Giffords, there's a reporter here, Greta Woodley of Congress Daily, and she has a question for you.
Good morning, Congresswoman.
Hi, Greta. How are you?
Good. How are you? I was interested. You brought up the fact that you were a small business owner, and Nancy Pelosi is going to bring to the floor next week a minimum wage hike. She is not talking about allowing Republicans to put anything related to small business tax incentives, small business burden, regulatory relief. What is your take on that? Are you disappointed that there will not be any amendments for small business?
Well, the state of Arizona recently, 2 months ago, took matters into our own hands, and we raised our minimum wage. The reality is the American worker can't make it on $5.15 an hour. And the last 10 years, Congress has raised its own salary over $30,000, yet not a nickel more for the American worker. In the state of Arizona, about 145,000 people were making the minimum wage. But the reality is most small business owners don't pay the minimum wage because you can't get good work for that, for that wage level. So we just raised our minimum wage in Arizona, and it passed overwhelmingly. And small business owners, it's tough, but the reality is that most people aren't paying the minimum wage right now, so it's going to be okay.
Now, how many employees in your family business?
Oh, we had about 100 employees.
And are you still involved in it?
No, actually, I sold the business to Goodyear.
Now, during your campaign, some of your photos and everything showed your fiance, Mark Kelly, who is whom?
He's an astronaut.
And has a wedding date been set? We've got to ask that question.
We actually do have a wedding date for November.
November what? Let's make some news here.
November 10th.
Gabrielle Giffords, if you have time, let's take a couple calls. Thomasville, Georgia, Independent line. Go ahead.
Yes.
You're on the air.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. I really appreciate the new incoming representatives and Congress people. We want to wish them well. Of course, we support our men and women in the military. My call has to do with the illegal immigrants, or our problem with the immigration. One thing that I like to see happen maybe is a moratorium to begin with on immigration, so that we can get us a new policy.
Gabrielle Giffords.